After you have died, you meet the Great One who says that you have been wronged in your previous life and, as a result, will be reincarnated with unimaginable powers. You accept the offer and you find yourself reincarnated in a fantasy world full of magic as a slave? Beep. 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 The sound of medical equipment beeping and whirring fills the room. A machine to my left pumps loud and slow, forcing air through a tube in my throat. It hurt at first, but it's not so bad now. The pain is fading, along with the rest of the world. My eyes flick back and forth, eyeing the corners of the room. I'm unsure if the lights are still on. My vision seems to be growing darker by the second. My pulse quickens. The beeping grows faster. My peripheral vision fades to nothing, leaving me with a circle of reality directly in front of me. The beeping fades, sounds of the world lessen, as if turning down the volume on a TV. I see movement. A man in blue scrubs, or are they green? Damn, even the color has left the world. He runs past. A woman follows close behind him, but quickly disappears from my narrowing vision. The darkness creeps in, narrowing my vision to a pinpoint. No more sound. No more pain. I think they are moving me, doing something, at least, but I can hardly tell. I'm not really there anymore, anyway. And now it's black. I take a deep breath, though I feel no air in my lungs. In truth, I feel none of the action at all, but my mind believes I am taking a breath, and the memory of it is relaxing. So I take another. A streak of white appears in the distance. A narrow path of light extends, rapidly approaching me. I take a step, or, I remember what it's like to take a step, and the distance is closed in an instant. I'm standing before a large white door, easily 3 times as tall as me. I reach for the knob, but nothing happens. My hand does not appear in front of my eyes, if I even have eyes, that is, how am I to open a door with no hands? That door is not for you, a voice booms in the darkness. I spin around, trying to find a sign of life in the void. There's nothing. As far as my lack of eyes can see, the world is black. All except for the door. Once, in the time before this, I could talk. I remember it. I recall the way it felt to move my jaw, flick my tongue. I try to recreate that feeling, to make those noises. I feel nothing from the attempt, but my words float into the space around me anyway. Where am I? I say. Or think. I'm not really sure. Somewhere you shouldn't be, the voice booms in reply. It sounds strangely familiar, as if it is comprised of all the voices I'd known in my life. I feel a strange comfort when it speaks. I died, didn't I? I remember it. The world had faded. And then I was here. Yes, but you should not have. What does that mean? I have made a decision, it says. You are going to be returned to the world, though it will not be as you left it. Another time, and another reality, unlike anything you remember from your previous life. If I have eyes, they blink. I'll be reincarnated? Yes. Will I live out my life as a child again? What will? No more questions, the voice interrupts. You will have a purpose to serve. You will be a man of great power, and it is up to you to do what is right with what you are given. Great power? Do what's right? I don't understand. Suddenly, a figure appears in front of me. It wears no face and only vaguely resembles the shape of a person. If I could gasp, I would. You will see, it said, then reaches out and puts a hand on my shoulder. In an instant, I feel myself thrust through time and space. It feels like being ripped apart in 100 different directions, though it doesn't exactly hurt. Unpleasant is too weak a word for it. All I know is that I want it to stop. And then I feel again, not the memory of physical feelings, but actual, real existence. My eyes open and I see a canvas sheet above me. I recognize it, though it takes a moment to recall why. It's a tent. My tent. This is where I live. I sit up in my straw bed, my back aching from the act. A smile flashes on my face. Pain. I'm happy to feel pain again. That is, until a white-hot pain flashes across my arm. I double over, grasping at my forearm. I scream out in pain. After a moment, it fades. My pulse settles. I lessen my grip on my arm and find the source of the pain, a symbol, seemingly burned into my forearm by an invisible force. The skin is red and blistered and small blue strings worm through the singed flesh. It looks almost like electricity. The flap to my tent flies open and a woman approaches, worry on her face. She is familiar, though I am not yet sure why. What's wrong? She asks, rushing to my side. She sits on the bed next to me and lays her hand across mine. I look up, meeting her gaze. Her brown hair hangs to her shoulders, matted and dirty. Her face is darkened from sun, and her form is far too thin. And then the memory comes rushing back. Kara, I say, a tear rolling down my cheek. She smiles weakly, her exhaustion plain. That's me. Don't forget it. The memories continue to fall into place. We grew up together. We were taken alongside another. And we were forced into slavery together. Why? Why would I be returned to the world of the living for this? A life of pain and suffering. How was this a great power? I curse under my breath. Why were you screaming? Kara asks. I turn over my arm and show her the symbol. Her eyes go wide. Do you know what it is? I ask. Her smile fades and is replaced by a look of panic. She leaps to her feet and steps to the entrance of the tent, peering out. Then she turns back around and says, yes. And you cannot show it to anyone. Why? The confusion is plain in my voice. Because they'll kill you if they know. I furrow my brow. I don't understand. Why would? Quiet, she says, and returns to my side. Keep it covered. Please. I can't lose you too. Not after. She turns her head away. I place a hand on her shoulder. All right, I say. I'll keep it hidden. I promise. A sudden exhaustion overtakes me, and I lean back in the bed. Maybe it's all just a dream. Maybe I'm still in that strange void, talking to a booming voice. Or maybe the voice made a mistake, and sent me somewhere I shouldn't be.